My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Dicey Dungeons. We're going to be playing the Inventor's third mission here. The inevitability of rust. In a damp and grimy dungeon, some of your equipment is bound to break eventually. It's lucky you're so good at improvisation. Rules. Don't create gadgets after each fight. All equipment is reusable. All equipment breaks after 4 uses, and broken equipment immediately becomes a gadget. Oh, that's going to be really interesting. Welcome back to Dicey Dungeons. Remember, if you'd like to be on the show, just write to us here at The Dungeons. Don't forget to whisper your most secret hope into the envelope. Yeah, there's just a ridiculous amount of equipment around, but that does make sense for the Inventor in general. So we have duplicate. Oh, it's only got 4 usages, but is it 4 usages in a fight or 4 usages overall? I suspect overall, otherwise you just duplicate, and then blow up the enemy with hammers on turn 1 every fight. So a large amount of what we're going to have to do is, as this character, because we have like an inherent limitation in the durability, let's refer to it as the durability to make it an easier concept to grasp. The durability of each of these pieces of equipment, we need to consider what is the worst equipment I can use in order to get the kill. That's going to be really, really important. What is the absolute worst that I can do while still living and still defeating the enemies? Sword. Yeah, could be useful, I guess. Okay. All die becomes 6. I mean, current Gadget has 4 pips on it as well. I imagine that that means... Oh, no. Yeah, that seems like a problem. So I imagine that means I only have 4 uses of the current Gadget. But the thing that I've realized has just become a problem is that, sure, I ideally want to use my worst equipment at all times, but if I don't focus and then double, just sword and hammer this turn to kill the enemy on turn 1, that's 3 pip usages. I would otherwise use 2 this turn, still not getting the kill, and probably have to invest like 2 or 3 more next turn. So it seems like the most efficient in terms of durability is that. However, there's no reason to go for the hammer, right? We go for the second charge of the sword. Yeah, okay. So that is walking the midline. It's use your most efficient equipment, but also your worst equipment first when you have a reasonable choice to make in that direction. Okay. Staff, it could be a problem. Staff is really easy to trigger with duplicate, so that would get us through a fight really quickly. In fact, like, staff duplicate is just like lethal against an enemy. Right? Go into a fight, you roll, a 6. You put a 6 in this 4 times over. Each time you put in 1 die and you get 2 back, so it's always just a positive 1, so you end up with 4 6s. Oh, no, that doesn't work. So the big reason that doesn't work is because you put 2 6s in a staff and you trigger the first usage of it, right? 8 minus 6 is 2. 2 minus 6 is 0. There's no negatives in this. So it doesn't carry over to your next reusable, so you may as well just duplicate 4s. But it does get you 3 charges of the staff off in a single turn, burn 3 dice, deal 18 damage, just with those 2 and a single 4 rolled on the first turn. And, as well, the duplicate will... Oh, hang on, the duplicate becomes a gadget! So as soon as you break... as soon as you break something, it immediately becomes a gadget. So... Duplicate, I have seen before, becomes the gadget. Duplicate all dice that you currently have out. So, I theorize, if I have duplicate with all of its charges available, and I use all of those on the same turn, and then I make it a gadget, I can duplicate all of them and then just blow up the enemy. So I suspect that what I want to do is actually take duplicate out of my equipment slots, because I don't want to use it at all. Ideally, I save that for the boss. I think, like, given the right damage equipment, we could blow enemies up ridiculously with that. Okay, so the enemy is always going to take at least 3 die to kill. Actually, that's not true. It's only not true if I've managed to burn the enemy on this turn, but I don't want to focus yet. Fine. I'm just going to do that. Put that in the staff just in case, I guess. I can let the enemy hit me 2 times here and I'll be totally fine. In fact, I probably should as well so that I can charge up focus. I'm going to wait until I have a 5 and a 4 and then just... 5 finishes off the sword, I think. 4 finishes off the sword. Yeah. Oh, and then it becomes plasma gun. Am I using plasma gun or hammer? I think I'm happier to use plasma gun. Should I be, though? Hammer is harder to use. But it does have the effect of the shock. But I do have hammer so early on that I'm very unlikely to end up carrying hammer for long enough in order to use it against enemies where the shock is important. Which means I can probably just end my turn. I mean, I also could have just put that in the dice. But... So I'm looking to roll a 5 or a 6 this turn, ideally. But even if I don't matter. So do I want to use a staff or a hammer, actually? Because duplicating 6s is way better with a hammer. You win! You get an extra dice, thankfully, as well as a short sword. Okay, so now that I have 2 short swords, both of them can go back in. I'm going to be heavily focusing on trying to use those as much as possible as well. 2 fights. 2 fights for a level, may as well go Wizard and Marshmallow to get as many options as possible, rather. Okay. Shocking the enemy doesn't really help. Like, it's a 1 in 6 that it actually has any impact at all. I don't know, 1 in 6 can make a difference. 1 in 6 can make a difference. Also use that current gadget. I do have to try and make sure that if I am going to generate a new gadget, I should have used all of the previous gadget. Yeah. Locked. Entirely irrelevant to the enemy there. Another pretty efficient kill right there. Ideally, I just like kill all of the early enemies that are quite easy to kill as efficiently as possible with using as few triggers of equipment as possible. And then by the end of the game, I just have so much equipment that I put the right things into my slots to just blow up the boss on turn 1. That's the whole game plan. I'm very, very straightforward about it. I'm happy to focus now. And I did that in the wrong order. Again, I had to make sure that the gadget was used first. So the best practices, I seem to be figuring them out and then forgetting to use them. So I feel like I should probably compile some of these somewhere just to refer back to at some point. Oh, I thought short sword was a boomerang, so it was going to deal twice as much damage. But, yeah. Increase all equipment durability by 1. What is the problem that we're encountering right now? Well, the problem is that if Grindstone and Duplicate are used at the same time, you can increase the durability of a Duplicate. So let's think about it. If you have Grindstone and 2 Duplicates out, Grindstone says all equipment durability. Not all equipment durability, or all other equipment durability. It says all equipment durability. So I'm going to take it for granted that that Grindstone affects itself. If it doesn't, then it's written wrong. So I can only take on the face of it what it says. So if I have 2 Duplicates and a Grindstone, is that an infinite? So each of the Duplicates just generates 4 extra die by itself. But it generates an extra die per usage of durability, right? So if it's 1 durability per die, but the Grindstone 1 die gives us 3 durability, 1 on the Grindstone, 2 on Duplicate. Yeah, that's an infinite. We take that Grindstone just on the possibility that we end up with another copy of Duplicate, and then we literally insta-kill the first boss, the end boss. Equipment upgrade as well as stuff and spike shield. So it seems like that equipment upgrade is pretty important, but it is only costing 1 right now, so I'm a little leery of that. That said, I do have a baby squid to fight. It's entirely possible we fight the baby squid, get something. Oh, hang on. No, wait. Duplicate is minimum 4 by base, so Duplicate doesn't need to be upgraded. Good. Shot 3 pieces of your equipment. Yeah, I can't rotate my gadget until the next gadget is ready, I don't think at all. These short swords, I don't think I want to get rid of yet, though. I think I'm still going to need that damage. It's fine. Fine, I have to use the staff that turn, though. Yikes. Not feeling so great about my resources and stuff. You know, the whole resource thing. Alright, focus is back at the very least. Ideally, I wouldn't have used that blowtorch, but since focus just gets me to 6s, and those 6s ruin the short swords, it's not great. I am considering like focus and then just putting it all in Grindstone. Just to see if Grindstone works the way that I hope it does. I think I need to know. It doesn't increase itself. All right, cool. So using that single charge of Grindstone is going to significantly impact the effectiveness that I managed to have at the very end. And it does gadgets as well. It's all other equipment. All right. Well, at least I know it now for the future. Let's burn the enemy and move on. Maybe the upgrade is all equipment, including itself. Hacksaw, minimum 3. Splitted dice in 3. Well, if I have anything that I can, like... That doesn't help me get its 6s for the Grindstone, but I guess it could be useful afterwards. Alright, let's get all of the equipment on. Go to the shop. I'm probably actually just going to buy everything in the shop. Just so that I have these as disposable to use for damage over the next couple floors. We'll look at the equipment upgrade first. Grindstone. Okay, so if you upgrade a piece of equipment, this is important. Upgrade a piece of equipment and it gets a... it gets a refresh on its durability. That's useful. Hacksaw splits the dice in 3. So splitting a dice in 3 with no limitation means you put a 1 in there and you get 3 1s back. So it's a surplus of 2 die. It's just you need something to do with those die. And currently I don't have that. So Hacksaw is unlikely to be currently useful in this build. Duplicate doesn't get upgraded in this build at all. Interestingly, I actually might be upgrading the hacksaw here. Just to set up for possible shenanigans later. Because there's nothing else that I want to upgrade right now. Yeah. I mean, upgrades are cheap in this mode because they're on equipment that is by its very nature disposable. So I shouldn't be too stressed out about suboptimal usage of an upgrade. Like, they're impermanent constantly anyway here for us. Let's get a staff out there. Take the duplicate off. I'm never really going to be tempted to use that. Healing crystal I might, though. I don't have good aggression for this floor. This is my concern. At least there's only one sneezy before I get my next two possibilities of having something. Unfortunately, the shop, I have like 1 gold by the time I get there, so other than an equipment upgrade, I can't really get anything. It's really annoying that we keep getting such low rolls on anything sub 4 is always like a 2 or a 1 rather than a 3 or a 4. So staff will take that. I think I'm also gonna go blowtorch and short sword. Yeah, because I'm finding myself really actually quite short on damage. So I think I do need to expend some of these a little more aggressively than I otherwise might. Really good roll by the Sneezy there. For us, in particular, obviously not the Sneezy. Blowtorch. Sweet. Start setting up the next stuff. Don't hurt anyone. Oh! Right. Well, the absolute least I end up getting focus back. I have to take 12 damage to do it, though. Hefty turn. I mean, it kind of averages out, right? Because on the first turn, they did nothing. There you go. Got a plasma gun back, so I actually have some damage. It wasn't always easy, you know? Just allergic to dances. Best I could do. I don't know, I don't have allergies. Or rather, I didn't think I had allergies. For the longest period of time, I had been asked, do you have allergies? Do you have allergies to anything? Do you have allergies to particular kinds of foods? Those kinds of things. Usually for sorting out dietary things. And every single time I was like, no, I'm really lucky. I have no allergies whatsoever. I'm a huge fan of cats as well. And then I finally met the wrong type of cat. And I'm deathly allergic to cats, apparently. Only realized that at a really incredibly inopportune time. 2 starves out at the same time? Rather than healing crystal? It's fine. Especially going up against a cactus seems a decent idea. I was so certain I wasn't allergic to cats that I picked up this cat and I just threw my face into it to cuddle it. Absolutely awful experience. Just bloodshot red eyes for the rest of the day. And the worst thing is, I'd never been allergic to anything before, so I didn't understand what was happening. I'd had no experience that could have possibly prepared me. I can focus. Yeah, I'm gonna focus. Grindstone these starves up. Not gonna do that. Okay. Could have been significantly worse. 7 damage, and we probably do end up fighting this, ending this fight now. Right. I guess the enemy does have the opportunity to try. Yeah, you get an extra thorns. Well done. But we'll wrap the kill immediately up after that. I'll use the plasma gun rather than the charge of the staff, I think. No, I'll use the staff. Yeah. So the reason I didn't use the plasma gun there is because the staves were on there's a 2 charge and 3 charge, and then the plasma gun has a 2 charge. So I think it's easier to have my next fight be like plasma gun staff set up on turn 1, plasma gun 2 staff set up on turn 2, and then I replace my equipment on turn 2, so I actually get a blowtorch out on that turn as well. Let's take the extra die all the way over to another chest, finding counterfeit, duplicated die. Beautiful. So it's counterfeit, duplicate, grindstone, and staff? Thing is, maximum that we can do with that is 6 staffs. 6 copies of staff. That's not that good. Let's get a spiked shield out there, I think, at the moment. Yeah, we're gonna need just a small, good damage dealer. Can see exactly what I'm talking about currently playing itself out on this turn, by the way. Next turn I plasma gun and then trigger another one of the stars again. Ooh! Thank heck the enemy is going to be incapable of poison clouding me, but they would set up a really good blight next turn. Thankfully, we're not going to let them. And I'll use blowtorch just to finish that one off. Better than the amount of usage I would have had to put on anything else there. Broadsword. That's interesting. Broadsword can deal a lot of damage with small die just because it has +2, so 1 is worth 3, right? Rather than 1 being worth 1. So it's literally 200% more damage, but it is large-sized. So... well, I mean, it'll be useless. It'll be useful for getting us through the next couple floors. I just don't think it'll be useful overall. Interesting. So, dagger says reusable, but all things are reusable right now. Does that mean the dagger is, like, actually reusable? You know, the worst thing about this is because if the dagger is actually reusable and does not have its durability disintegrate, then, you know, number one, it probably shouldn't have a durability sign right there, or it should have like that plus an X through it. But if it does actually have the ability to be reused, then it's the exact right thing to go into my build. But that build can only be used once. So, in order to find out whether or not dagger will work in that build, I have to lose. Well, actually, no. I can test it out beforehand. I can test it out. I'm taking dagger and spike. I'm just bouncing. I can test it out. Dagger and spike. There was an upgrade back here that cost 3. I think I actually skipped that. That's my bad. What would I have even upgraded, though? Could have upgraded counterfeit to be half size. That could have been useful. Yeah, I guess that could have been useful. All right. Looking back at the equipment that we have, it's fine. So I have this, and then I still have another floor afterwards. Oh, gosh. Loudbird dodging our attacks is going to be the absolute worst. Please don't. I was very happy to use an early focus in this fight if it were needed, but thankfully it really doesn't look like it is. So I will blowtorch. Broadsword. Do I have to broadsword just to get through this fight? Feel like I should expend the rest of the blowtorch before I finish off this staff. Broadsword, go bye-bye. I just don't want the enemy to dodge all of my attacks, and then I have to waste so much of my durability trying to get through. So that gets dodged. I put 2 die in here, and then I finish you off with the current gadget. Yeah, I'm just not interested in having that being awful for us. So we've freed up a space for us to put Dagger in, and that's literally just to check if Dagger works how I hope it does. I think I have enough aggression to get through the next combat, but it is a little bit close, so I'll put a spike in just in case. Plasma Blaster. Garbage. I'll probably put that over Spike, because Spike with Hacksaw does have a possibility of being useful. Super Pirate. What have you got over a normal pirate? You have slightly different ability set, I think. And I think you have an extra die. Actually, I think you might just have an extra die. That's exclusive. This is actually a pretty good turn. Do that. All right. Yeah, it does use a durability of the. Why? I guess because all of the rest of the cards are just the card plus the durability shown up in the top corner, but reusable doesn't mean reusable here. It's really unfortunate for us. So that's not gonna contribute to our win condition in the same way I'd hoped. That's okay though. Still get some decent damage out there. Yeah, turns out Broadsword. But Broadsword was double size, so I don't know if I could have afforded taking Broadsword anyway. Alright. That. It's an easy one right there. So we back out of that fight, and I'm just going to check the equipment again, just in case Dagger had refreshed. It hadn't. But just in case. Another staff, very useful. Very, very useful. I mean, we are about to fight a snowman, so we just straight up go for the staff anyway. And I heal after the fight, so I may as well get 1 more HP before I go in. It's possible we end this fight on exactly 1 HP, and suddenly that looks like a real clever move. But not likely. Throw in a Plasma Blaster as well. I mean, I guess I could start using Dagger. Because next turn, I'm going to get Dagger as a gadget, I think. Rough. Yeah, I'm not going to get it as a gadget. Oh, wait, no, it's a maximum of 3 rather than a minimum of 3. Never mind, I will get it as a gadget again. Okay, so I can steal to borrow equipment. This helps me freeze your die, but that's actually good for you, right? But now I just straight up have Snowball, don't I? Having the ability to steal your enemy's equipment, don't I just keep it? I'm pretty sure I now keep it. It's not just for the turn, right? It has durability stack on it. I have to be able to keep it. Right? No. No, it has to be redone every turn. Okay, fine. So that means I should just do something like, you know, throw all of them in there. Right, I shouldn't have exploded it though. That would have made sense. And I've just let the enemy just freeze all of my dice this turn as well, by the way. Ugh. Focus kills the enemy, but ideally I don't have to do that. Ideally. Fine. I heal after this fight anyway, I can take it. Fine. That'll do. Goodbye, snowman. Got me. Copy equipment, copy grindstone. Okay, grindstone and grindstone are half size. Duplicate is one size. Counterfeit is full size. Literally anything that does damage wins with that. Take. With my backpack, copy the grindstone. Okay. We win. Right? Let's think about this. Because I suspect we already have the ability to win every single fight as soon as we roll our first 6. And if we don't roll our first 6, well, we have things that give us 6s. I mean, I can do it with 1s. Actually, how would I do it with 1s if I did it with 1s? Hacksaw. Oh, but hacksaw doesn't work with this, all right? Because the grindstone, right? Never mind. This is fine. It has to be those, so it can't be the spike. So that means it has to be... The final one has to be Plasma Blaster. We're copying 5s. We can't do that. You have to copy 6s. So Plasma Blaster needs to be upgraded, or I need something here that can take a 6. Other than that, I have to go back to the basic build beforehand. But yes, this... Yeah, we have the future set up. We're so close to really good right now. I think Hacksaw and Spike I can probably use to get through a combat. Because Spike is 8 damage. But even then, Spike is 8 damage in a single turn, maximum. That's not even that much. It does replace itself, though. Yeah, Hacksaw shouldn't have been upgraded. That was my bad. I think maybe I do take Spike into the next battle. Maybe even Healing Crystal as well, though. Gives me something to do with low rolls, at least. So, I don't have to fight all of these enemies. Because as soon... Like, if we have the right equipment, we just go straight to the boss and win. And we can get this upgrade. We can get this, we can get this, and we can get that just by hitting these 3 enemies. We can skip this direwolf entirely. I suspect we might as well just do that. There doesn't seem to be a reason not to. Freeze one of the enemy die. Staff off, and then I guess I'll start charging up the next stuff. Yeah, this has very little damage. I need to carry more damage in the next fight. I'm gonna need to roll a bunch of 4s for that spike shields, and that's just difficult to do, especially because focus only gets me to 6s. Excuse me. Inflict Confuse? Equipment is mixed up and obscured this turn. Okay, well, I already know. I literally know all of these pieces of equipment. That's still spikes. That's still the healing crystal. They weren't even mixed up. I guess the staff is here where it wasn't previously. So refrigerate the enemy. Right? Yeah. So refrigerate the enemy. And then the 5 is actually least useful in... outside of the... flame. So I'll do that, and then I'll blowtorch. And then the maximum 3 goes in the healing crystal, and then 2 4s for damage and the spike shields. That's a pretty good turn right there. Considering confusion, at least. I'm totally fine for this enemy to constantly confuse me. Works well for me. I'm also fine for you to freeze me because I do need more 1s so that I can activate my spikes. I'm gonna blowtorch the enemy and then go... That's a 3 on the healing crystal. That's 4 for the damage as well. I think I have to do that. I missed out on a blowtorch by doing it though. Oh, no, I missed out on Blowtorch by doing... Oh. I just gave away all of the rest of my damage. So I need spikes to give me something that deals damage after this. And I need to roll ones to trigger spikes as well, so... Yeah, bad moves on my part. Bad moves so far. Not good. I've played better and I have played worse, but I need to make these mistakes to learn. Okay. I guess I'll go first just in case. Nope. Yep, that hitting me with a 6 is real rough, bud. I'd like to roll a 1 at any point here, game. It's okay, it's a 1 in 6 every single time. I understand that I keep missing that somehow. Hey, Frozen! Thankfully the enemy hit me with the Frozen effect, so I actually do get to do it. There's a 1, and I P-gun you this turn. Alright, I get 2 more turns of P-gunning you until you're down. I am terrified. Don't dare silence me. Oh, come on! Parting gift of the most damage you can do. Yeah, much appreciated. Yeah. If you got a slap onto our onion. Well, bunch of HP at the very least near me. Toxic Ooze, deal damage on a 6, add 2 poison. Well, that's what we're going to be using to probably kill this Kraken, I guess. Alright. Alright, we need to think. Because we just ran out a lot of resources. So, Plasma Blaster, Counterfeit, Duplicate, Grindstone, Grindstone. Yeah, like, our resources in that fight were completely destroyed. Okay. Okay. So if this is an infinite, only when the Plasma Blaster is upgraded, I can hit that after the Kraken, but I need to get past the Kraken somehow. So how do I get past the Kraken? I'm considering taking Counterfeit and Duplicate with me. Uh-huh. And one of the Grindstones. As soon as I roll a 6, I kill the enemy. They're dead. But obviously the Grindstones aren't keeping themselves bolstered. So I can't fully use the Grindstone. I need to leave myself with some Grindstone at the very end. Even just one is fine, because then the second Grindstone will charge it back up and we're okay past that point. Right? Right? No, we're not. Because Grindstone refills Grindstone, but Grindstone... Wait, never mind, we're fine. Yeah, it's fine. Because they just pass them back and forth forever, right? One Grindstone already uses a durability as well as creates a durability. It uses 1/6 and it creates 2 from the Counterfeit and Duplicate. Yeah, so a 1 durability Grindstone should be fine. So literally, as soon as I roll a 6, we kill this Kraken, we go straight. It's great. It's good. But if I don't roll a 6 early enough, the Kraken is just going to ruin me. Especially due to the fact that they have the ability to make us blind, and they have the ability to curse us, and they have the ability to ramp up their damage on the Overwhelm. But this is basically the only setup I have that has the ability to even kill the Kraken. I have focus, though, so I can literally do it on turn 1. So I probably should just shut up and known that I had that backing me. It is worth noting that the Duplicate and Counterfeit can't be completely ruined as well here. Right, and then 1, 2. Do I put 2 on it? No, I think one sec. Yeah, it's the Grindstone down to 1 on turn 1. And then ooze, 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 ooze. 4. Got him. So yeah, that used the entire ooze up, but the rest of my win strat is still together. Restore 10 HP, boomerang, and spanner. Combined dice. Combined dice have a useful for me. Nice to see you around here so often. Have a look at these. Let's have a look at whether I got anything that might help you out in one of these next few battles. Boomerang, spanner, maybe recover 10 HP. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the 10 HP to me. And I actually don't think any of the other ones can even slightly compete. Going for the upgrade, I could just upgrade the Grindstone and get its durability back, but I don't need to do that. Counterfeit actually upgrades to halve its size. That's interesting. Oh, it's you. Come in. Do you think I could mosh up a sunlight lamp for a dryad? She's been a bit down lately. Let's check the backpack to see if there's anything that's like a standout upgrade. Plasma Blaster seems like my upgrade. So it's my upgrade just because then it can accept a 6. Yeah, I have to upgrade it. I didn't get anything that accepts a 6 for damage in here, did I? Well, I did, but it deals the damage back to me, so I couldn't have taken it anyway. So yeah, I just go Rat King and leave. But again, now I'm in a situation where I'm like, okay, how do I can get this Grindstone down to having 2 charges, but how do I kill the Rat King, right? Oh no. I don't think I left myself with enough damage to kill the Rat King. No, wait! I already have the infinite! What? I already have the infinite. I don't know why I'm pretending I'm not gonna... Right? Pretty dang certain that's the infinite right there. If it's not, then I was already gonna be losing, so it's fine. Focus on turn 1 if I don't roll a 6. Roll a 6. Okay, duplicate, and then Grindstone. Grindstone. You... Game! Increase all equipment durability by... It says it on the game. I can't win anymore. I literally cannot win this game anymore. This is tragic. Yeah, Grindstone doesn't increase the other Grindstone. I didn't even think to check that because there's no reason it shouldn't. There just isn't. I think this is the first time I've been legitimately frustrated at this game. Actually, no, it was the robot episode with the 50% chance to fail every single time you roll a die. That was a bit frustrating, or maybe equally as frustrating as this. All right. So I have 36 damage that I can just do to the enemy from Plasma Blaster, but then, you know, I lose my Plasma Blaster. I need it. I think I have to use both my Grindstones this turn and just kill the enemy. I'm so... All right. Let's do those 2 first. Oh, barricade me. This one, get another barricade. And then I duplicate until I can kill. I need 5. There we go. Gets the Rat King down. Hey, have a dire wolf that I definitely don't have the damage to actually fight. Two-handed sword, deal damage. Neat. Duplicate, counterfeit, and plasma blaster are with you. Duplicate and counterfeit have 3 and 4 apiece, and the two-handed sword has 4. I think if I try and fight the dire wolf, I lose. But also, I think I can afford to buy the boomerang right now, and then I can use that to kill the direwolf, take the chest, and then heal up, as well as level up before the boss battle, get an extra die. I think I'm gonna need the extra die. So we'll buy the boomerang, take the two-handed out, put the boomerang and the short sword in. Those are the things I'm totally comfortable using here for damage. Fine. Well, at the very least, I now know for the future that equipment doesn't necessarily consider itself when it says equipment. It's good information to have, at least. Pretty likely just going to be killing the enemy next turn. Yeah. Ooh, he cursed me. Okay, he actually might be able to stave it off. Heck, that curse could end up killing me if it's really inopportune. And I set up Fury as well, doubling my next action. Cool. So I've got Fury as my current gadget. I've got Duplicate and Counterfeit out. I've got Plasma Blaster and... I don't know, I'll put a Hacksaw there, I guess. Just in case I somehow end up running out of die. Did I end up leaving that fight with focus? That's one thing I am concerned. Oh, Keyblade. Deal 3 damage, return the die. Hang on. Is that actually worth putting into my build? Deal 3 damage, return the die. So basically that's just 12 free damage for us. Yeah, it's still better than the Hacksaw. Inventor versus Jester. Actually get a direct fight. Jester changes equipment every turn. Look, I wish I didn't have the right water. Well, look, I wish I didn't have to stop you, but I don't have a choice here. Being a little more sincere there. I think we will focus on turn 1 here. All right. So the two-handed sword is 4 usages, right? 4 usages of 12 is 4 by 12 is 48. So I have to Fury 2 of those two-handed swords against the enemy, otherwise I lose. Is that true? No, because Keyblade is 12 extra damage, so 48, 15. So if I double one of those two-handed swords, we should be okay. All right. So I start with focus. I think the first thing I do is Fury a two-handed sword. But I'm also concerned that if I Fury anything except for the last charge, maybe it doesn't work, which is a grave concern, unfortunately. But I don't want to finish off the Keyblade yet. An issue. All right, so I'll start the Keyblade, I think. 1, 2, 3. Then start duplicating. Doubling a duplication is never going to be the correct thing here. And if I don't kill on turn 1, I'm literally never killing the enemy, so. Let's take those. And 2, 3. And then I'll Fury this one. Literally, it's already lethal. You aren't gonna win. You just aren't. It's not possible. But maybe you could at least get out of here? You know what? You can. Or at least you can try, and I'm coming with you. Which unfortunately means I think there's gonna be a lot more of the Jester voice in the future. ... says the unit. So who's gonna spin the wheel now? No idea. Not my problem anymore. Come on, let's get out of here. That's the third episode complete for the Inventor. And if you'd like to look 2 spaces down, we can also see that the final character has now been unlocked, the Jester. The Jester is going to be incredibly interesting to play. I have been waiting because I did get to try the Jester before before the actual release of the full game. So I know the Jester's mechanic. And let's just say that people who have seen the Slay the Spire series, especially the early episodes of the Slay the Spire series, plural, will probably be pleased by the playstyle of the Jester. There will be a return of a certain sized deck daddy. Until that time, my name has been Rhapsody. We've completed 2 extra challenges of defeating a boss with full health, hell yes, and completion of the episode Inevitability of Rust. The fireman's favorite food is ice cream. Their hobbies are reading, woodwork, skiing. Their greatest fear is destroying that which he loves. And reasons for entering the dungeon, not wanting to be on fire. I do like that they just have, like, the typical archetype of a monster that you might imagine, than just going the complete opposite direction of just making them real sweet, real wholesome. And then the gargoyle is the complete opposite of that as well. What was the final one? It's another challenge that we completed. Do you want to show me where that one is? The slime's favorite food is slurp. Yeah, other than the fact that they dislike broccoli, the rest of it is all just a series of slurps. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.